Hello once again. We are already 43 people here. So let's give ourselves just 2 more minutes and then we will start the presentation. Because I can see that people are still logging in.
Okay, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yep.
I see that Anthony is raising his hand. Do you have something to say? Anthony, you can speak if you want.
Good afternoon. I do have something to ask here. I was just
Yes.
asking if you are going to send us yesterday's presentations because I feel like
Yes.
I've missed something on that side.
Okay. Yes, of course, we will be sending you the presentation, yesterday, Wednesday presentation, and we will also be sending you this presentation. Everything will be sent to you.
All right, not a problem. Thank you.
I see that Kotola is raising his hand. Do you have something to say before we start? Because you are going to start right now. But you can share with us.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Ashraf. I wanted to ask some question that can I proceed out my new project or can I present about the new project that I didn't get the fund, but I do have a one of project. Can I proceed or can I present about that project, please?
Do you mean, can you present that project during the summit in June in Marrakesh, right?
Okay, that's great. I don't know if it's maybe now or in Marrakesh.
No,
It's possible for me.
no, I think we will proceed to present the projects later on in the process. We will all hear from your projects. We already got the files you sent us with the project proposals, and we have analyzed all the data you sent us, but we will also be organizing meetings in order to speak to each and every one of you about the projects you proposed. Don't worry, everything is will be discussed, and you can pick and change the ideas, and everything will be as you please. That being said, I will right now start the presentation because it's 10 past 3 here, and to respect all of you who were on time. So thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for taking part in this project. Um,
Sorry.
yes, I will ask you all, please, to keep your mics off so we can proceed. Of course, there will be a session where you can all share and ask questions if you want.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All
So
right.
once
All right.
again, thank you so much. The idea is to talk to you a little bit about alternative fundings as part of the training program. I want you to know that we will be sharing with you the credentials for the MOOC platforms if it's not already done for some of you. That will give you access to the MOOC platform, and you will be able to find all the modules, all the 9 modules, the workshop sessions, the quiz, and everything that is related to the training. So the idea here and right now is just to co-create a topic. And today's topic is alternative fundings. I will be presenting some data, but I will also be hearing from all of your experiences. I know that we are in different African countries. Some countries have more experiences with alternative fundings. When we talk about crowdfunding, for instance, some of you have, some countries have more experience than others. So this will be interesting to know, to get your perspective on the subject and everyone. So once again, feel free to write on the chat, and we'll be reading all that, but just keep your mics for now. So thank you so much. So I will proceed. So today's subject is alternative fundings. We are in the first module of the training. So I will start by just see. Okay, so what is the purpose of the module? The purpose of today's module is to define alternative funding and the issues surrounding these new financial vehicles. As you know, traditional funding sources become more competitive and restricted. Nonprofits are increasingly exploring innovative financial mechanisms that can provide greater stability and autonomy. So it's very important to understand these alternatives and to know that they require examining both their potential benefits and the challenges they present to organizational mission, governance, and operation. Then we will explore the various alternative financing mechanisms in order to understand the different way of raising funds, from impact investing and social enterprise models to innovative donor engagement strategies and digital fundraising platform. The landscape of nonprofit financing has expanded dramatically. So, as you know, each mechanism offers unique advantages and limitations also, and we will all our organizations will have to adjust to these new mechanisms and carefully evaluate their specific needs, capabilities, and long-term objectives. Finally, this module aims to support reflection on coherent combination of financial models in the short, medium, and long term. As you know, sustainable funding rarely comes from a single source, but rather through thoughtfully diversified strategies that balance immediate needs with long-term sustainability. So this module will help organizations develop an integrated approach to funding that aligns with their mission, leverages their strengths, and we will try to know how to build resilience against changing economic conditions and donor priorities. So these are the purposes of the module. So this is the module outline. We have the introduction. We will start by defining what is alternative funding. Then we will proceed to talk about the challenges and the prospects of alternative funding. Then we will talk about participatory funding and how we can develop our own income, how we can work with the private sector, and what is the way towards new financial vehicles. But before that, I would like to give you the floor. You can raise your hand and we can talk about your expectations for this session. I want to remind you all that this session is just a way of bringing up the subject of alternative funding. And of course, the detailed module is uploaded in the MOOC platform and you all have access to it. So what are your expectations for this session? Okay, so I see that some hands are, okay, so we will start by Bukar Atiai. You can start by presenting yourself, your organization quickly, and then tell us about your expectations for this session.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity, Ashraf. This is Bukar Mohammed Atiaye from the Humanitarian Network for Northern Nigeria. And as the name of the organization implies, I am from Nigeria. So I honestly expect to learn about ways to source for funding outside the traditional funding ecosystem and funding that is long-term and sustainable. Briefly, thank you, and over.
Thank you so much. It's Bukar. It's well noted. Thank you for sharing with us. So I will move to Amorim. Can you share with us what are your expectations for this session?
Yeah, first of all, my name is Dinka Amorim Santos. I'm come from Sao Tome and the Principe. As you know, Sao Tome and the Principe is the second smallest country, is a Portuguese-speaking country. I'm representing Y.E.S is my organization, meaning English, very cool. This organization work with the youth there and also with youth in diaspora in Europe. Well, my expectation for this section, first of all, I would like to congratulate. Are you listening?
Yes, yes, we are
Hello.
all listening to you.
Yes, we can
We
continue.
are all listening to you.
Okay, okay. First of all, I would like to congratulate Morocco to organize this kind of program in terms to fertilize the NGO in Africa. So my expectation for this project and this section is to get more skills, especially as you know, there are different skill, different model to NGO to get from fundraising, special right to the application, membership fee, you know, get the private institution. So the idea is to get more skills, more modality, and how we can write down the good proposal. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing with us. I will give the floor now to Adam. Adam, you can share with us.
Okay, thank you. My name is Bashir Suleiman, and I'm the technical advisor for Youth Center for Peace and Development. We are working in Sudan. So I expect through this, lesson or through this session to learn new skills and practices, that will help to figure out other alternative ways of funding, and also learning from some colleagues to share their practical experiences, how they have tackled the problem of funding through finding out other alternative method or ways of funding. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will give the floor now to Wabua. I will take two more answers or three more answers, and then we will go ahead because, as you know, we have so limited time. So thank you so much.
Yes, so hello to everybody. I'm called Fogwe Wango, and I'm from Cameroon. I'm representing youth, education, and development. So what I expect from this lesson is to know more about crowdfunding and the other innovative ways of raising funds, and learn more from my various friends and colleagues here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I will take one more answer, and then I will very kindly ask all of those who are still raising their hands to kindly write in the chat their expectations. Of course, everything will be well noted, and we will give responses and answers to all your expectations. So I will take one more intervention from Anthony, I think. It's your turn, Anthony. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. The name is Rabelang Anthony, and I'm from South Africa in the Northern Cape. My expectation for this session is to adapt the different funding modules around the globe and also learn about other organizations' work in the youth around their communities and hopefully collaborate with them. Thank you very much.
Perfect. This is
Sorry.
exactly yes, please.
Yes. Sorry for that. Actually, I couldn't find the buttons that's showing raise your hand. That's why I just opened my mic to just speak. I'm sorry for that. So it is not in my phone. So my name is. Can I go ahead?
Yes, okay, you can go ahead. Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. My name is Yoal Wolim. I'm from South Sudan, and then I'm executive director of Limngan Foundation. We are a youth led and an ID-led community-based organization in South Sudan. Well, in my expectation, it's always been networking. Networking. We sometimes have shutters of who to approach. Sometime to get funding from. So that's basically maybe if this program can introduce us to, I mean, to the good networks where we might secure funding. Yeah, thank you. That's what I was expecting.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Yes, perfect. So yes, thank you all for sharing your expectations that align with the goals of this training and all of the training engineering. So today we will be able to learn more about the new funding models. We will get to all know about our experiences in this field. And the idea is during the training to try to learn more skills and to work with all of you individually and collectively within the project frame that you present that you will present in Marrakesh, in Morocco, so we can integrate these new funding models in the project. So it's a ongoing process, and the idea is to work and to try to develop concretely the skills with all of you. So thank you so much. With that being said, I will move to the next slide. So what is alternative financing and what are alternative fundings? As you may know, alternative funding refers to all the financial resources that can be mobilized in addition to the traditional subsidies granted by public donors or international cooperation agencies. These innovative financing mechanisms encompass a diverse range of approaches that organizations can utilize to supplement or replace conventional funding streams. So the idea here is try to move from one perspective that is based on subsidies granted by public donors, such as ministries, such as international cooperation agencies, private donors, and try to move on with new ways to replace or supplement these funding streams. So alternative funding models include earned income strategies, impact investing, crowdfunding, corporate partnerships, social enterprise models, membership programs, and various forms of community-based financing. These approaches are increasingly important as competition for traditional grants intensifies and organizations seek. Yes, please tell me. Is there any problem? Hi. I heard someone speaking, but it's okay. I will proceed. So I was saying that these approaches are increasingly important because competition for traditional grants intensifies. You know, there are more civil society organizations seeking more fundings, and public institutions cannot grant every social civil society, you know, with donations and with funds. So the idea is to try and seek alternative models. So why is it important for civil society organizations to seek new funding models? So since this is some context. So since 1970, the United Nations has set developed countries the target of allocating 0.7% of their gross national income to official development aid. But in 2023, only 5 countries have met this commitment. So as you all may know, for instance, the United States has decided to dismantle and terminate 83% of USAID supported programs. And we have seen this recently And this shows exactly why it is important to look for new funding models. You know, everything was okay with USID until, you know, there is a new president and everything just fell apart based on one decision, one signature controlled, you know, the faith of millions of people depending on USID supported programs and USID grants. But this is not something related only to the United States of America. Many other countries have decided to cut its official development aid due to the context. So the United Kingdom, for instance, will cut its ODA budget from 0.5% of gross national income to 0.3% by 2027. Same thing with France, same thing with other countries that work a lot in this field. Okay, so this is the current context that shows us how much it is important for civil society organizations to adjust and to try to find new funding models. So why should all of your organizations, all of us, try and diversify? First of all, it will help us gain independence. So by reducing dependence on subsidies that are often uncertain or limited in time, organizations gain greater control over their strategic direction and operations. This independence allows nonprofits to focus on their mission rather than constantly adjusting to changing funder priorities or requirements. So as you may know, when you are funded by an organization, it's always important to take in consideration this organization's priorities. And it's very tough for civil society organizations to keep jungling and struggling between working on their own missions and values and purposes and try every time to adjust based on the funder and the organization that is aiding the CSO. One other very important point is responsiveness. So by enabling more flexible resources to be mobilized to respond rapidly to the needs of young people in the field, alternative funding creates agility that traditional grant cycles often prohibit. So if you are, for instance, financed by an international cooperation organization within a 3-year program, you know that you have a budget, and that budget is oftenly fixed during yearly during the project launch, and you will have to stick to the budget. So whenever there is a problem with the program, it's very tough to try and to adjust and to change the budget. For instance, I think we all lived and saw this and experienced this. So new funding models allow us to be quick and allow us great responsiveness. So there's also sustainability. So new funding models allow us to gain more sustainability by building hybrid models that are capable of financial social impact over the long term, and also coping with crisis. So if there is a such sudden cessation of funding, such is the case with USID, organizations can be resilient and can adjust quickly and maintain their sustainability. So there's also innovation and multiplication of impact. So by securing financial resources, this makes it possible for civil society organizations to explore new intervention methodologies in order to observe their relevance before seeking funding. So it's very important to take into consideration also this innovation aspect. So now we will move to the types of participatory funding. So we will talk about the donations. What are the different type of donations? Donations is a financial model that enables organizations to raise funds from a broad public. It can be individuals, it can be communities, and diasporas. There are several types of donation. There is one-off donation. This is a one-off donation made by an individual to support a specific cause or project. It can be motivated by specific campaign, events, or emergencies. There is also regular donations. This type of donation is made on a regular basis, whether it is monthly, quarterly, annually, etc. And it enables civil society organizations to guarantee stable, predictable funding over the long term. There's also the proximity donation. This type of donation is generally made face-to-face at local events or collections in public places. And finally, there is online donation that is now possible through digital platforms. So individuals can make donations remotely via internet. This type of fundraising extends the reach of campaigns to a wider audience, particularly in the diaspora or internationally. So these are 4 types of donations a civil society organization can use in order to develop its funding. Now we'll talk about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding, what is crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is a financial method that involves raising small amounts of money from a large number of people. So it's typically via online platforms in order to fund a project, a business venture, or a cause. Unlike traditional funding methods that rely on a few major investors or donors, crowdfunding leverages the collective power of many individuals who each contributes relatively modest amounts. So the idea here is to get small amounts of money from a wider and larger public, but directly and strictly to fund a project, a business venture, or a cause. So unlike donations, here it's like the donor invests in a cause or funds a project he directly knows, or he specifically picks. Okay. So this approach to fundraising operates through dedicated online platforms that provide the infrastructure for campaign creation, promotion, and financial transactions. Campaigns usually include a clear funding goal, compelling narrative about the project or cause, and often offer various incentives or rewards based on contribution levels. So I don't know about your countries, and I'm very interested into knowing and to share together whether your country has adopted crowdfunding. Are there specific laws that regulate crowdfunding? Are there any crowdfunding platforms in your different countries? So if some of you can share their experiences with this, I'll be more than happy. You can use your hand and share with us. So I will give the floor to Ramodia Katso to give us or to talk to us about her experience with crowdfunding.
Thank you very much. My name is Katalizaran Ramudia. I am a board member and a communication officer at Women Lead Africa here in Botswana. So at Women Lead Africa, our areas of work are peace and security, leadership, and skills development. So generally in Botswana, there's so many rules and regulations around even just bringing money in the country in terms of funding and how the ceiling at which you can get from international donors. So Botswana used to be grey listed. So they're really looking into how organizations are making money, especially non-profits. And the most common one is just, applying for grants writing. And one of the supporting this that we have been seeing in society is like the embassies and the diplomatic community, like the European Union here in Botswana, the U.S. Embassy, your Frederick Ebert Stiftung, the GIZ. Those are the organizations that have been, willing to fund projects or give grants financially. But there are other organizations that do donate in kind. That has been our experience at Women Lead Africa.
That's amazing. Can you please remind me of your country?
Botswana,
Botswana, perfect.
southern
Botswana,
part
perfect.
of Africa. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I will give the floor to Marwan Omar Gwamba, if you would like to share with us your experience or your organization's experience with crowdfunding. You can start by presenting your organization and how were you able to maybe use crowdfunding to obtain funds?
Okay, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Am I audible? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can all hear you.
Okay, my name is Marwan Umar Gomba. I'm the Executive Director of a Solid Stone Advocacy for Health and Education Initiative, a non-governmental and non-profit organization based in Nigeria, and we are focused on the advocacy for education, specifically SDGs 4, and then also the concept of the climate change, and then leadership, training for young people in Nigeria. Basically, before the crowdfunding is regulated in Nigeria, basically because of the huge cases of cyber crimes and cyber infiltration and cyber fraud. So it's make it difficult mostly in Nigeria. Organization usually raise funding basically for humanitarian need, not actually for a non-governmental organization project. For instance, a humanitarian organization can basically launch a crowdfunding through social media for a certain person who is in need of help, either a medical bill to be, paid, or a homeless person, or a person struggling for social justice issue. But basically, in most cases, the crowdfunding in Nigeria is for the humanitarian aid, humanitarian support under the humanitarian crisis, not actually a project-based crowdfunding. So it's kind of difficult for an NGOs in Nigeria to generate funding through crowdfunding. Also, there are also issues around lack of distrust among people because of the high cases of that cyber fraud. Therefore, that is why organization usually doesn't generate funding mostly through crowdfunding. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing with us and to allowing us to know more about Nigeria's experience in crowdfunding. I understand now I understand more, about the context in Nigeria and how it's difficult, but how it's all oriented into providing solutions, humanitarian solutions. I see that we have some more hands raising. I will give the floor to Wabua.
Yes, hello to everyone. I'm Fogwiwangu from Cameroon, and here in my country, we are not. We are not really used to crowdfunding yet. But what we do is we have various ways of funding projects, like the government and some international bodies could bring up competitions. Like, for example, the World Bank brought up a business plan competition where they needed 1,000 young entrepreneurs to benefit from fundings and so on. So for now, those are the kind of ways we get to acquire funds. But this crowdfunding is still like not really common. So I mean, That's why I'm really interested in knowing more about the crowdfunding and to know how to go about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will give the floor now to Bukar. Bukar.
Thank you so much, Ashraf. I think the Nigerian context has already been said. Just to add a few points to that. So actually what my brother from Nigeria mentioned is very clear. But then the crowdfunding ecosystem, so to say, is not regulated. Unfortunately, making it very vulnerable to some people to misuse it. So you can find a post requesting to settle a medical bill of a person not necessarily owned by organization, but then some handles, but the graphics of the picture will not allow you to leave without sending something in that regard. So in terms of regulation, even if it is poorly regulated, and in terms of organizations that utilize crowdfunding, there are very few organizations that do that. So that makes it very, very difficult to say that the organizations in Nigeria actually utilize crowdfunding at some of the standard strategies in terms of looking for funding to fund their initiatives. Thank you, and over.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. I will give the floor to Joseph. Joseph Assar.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Joseph Asare, and I'm the founder of Association Vision International in Ghana, and I'm also representing Association Vision International in Ghana. Association means the act of impacting life, and we are focused on promoting sustainable impact in the lives of women, children, and the environment. Talking about crowdfunding, interestingly, this is the first time my organization has embarked on crowdfunding to fund a project earmarked for girls' education support in deprived communities in Ghana. And what happened was we got to know that we have internationally recognized crowdfunding organizations. I don't want to advertise for anyone, so we applied to one of them that we want to have a crowdfunding for our project, and we had to go through vetting. So they had to vet our organization to know we are credible before we had approval that we can present our project also for vetting. And then as we speak, our project is on their website raising fund for our projects. We also got to know that we cannot present our bank details in Ghana for the crowdfunding. So we had to open a U.S. account with them. So we opened a bank account in the United States where the funding is being channeled to. And then 10% of whatever we raise will go to the organization that is helping us to do the crowdfunding. Most importantly, in Ghana, it appears most of the organizations here are not interested in undertaking crowdfunding in the approved or official platforms. So most of them rather resort to grant writing and grant applications. So we are exploring crowdfunding to see how best we can raise much for our projects on official platforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. I will give the floor to Will to Impact, and we will take a few more responses before getting ahead with the presentation. Thank you. Go ahead, Will to Impact.
Sorry, you mean Bakhit, right?
Hello everyone. Hello everyone.
No, I have here will to impact. Yes, you can
Yes,
speak will
yes,
to impact.
yes. Hello everyone. Christian, the founder of the organization called Will to Impact from Burundi. We we are a non-profit based in Burundi, focused on youth empowerment through education, entrepreneurship, and mentoring. So uh, the crowdfunding in our country, we face the problem with foreign currency, with the central banking. When the possibility to raise fund is by application from the international organization based in our country. Some is a UN organization or organization from some countries based in our country. So get opportunity to get skills from crowdfunding, international crowdfunding, or raising money or grant from international way will be a huge opportunity for our organization to proceed and get found to make real our initiative or project. So the other way to get to talk here, I've heard, for example, Joseph, to learn more about our other of our colleagues, to know how they deal with or they proceed with, in order to learn from them, in order to get and then you build a sustainable network from our African non-profit. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I will take Pestus Masaho. Don't forget to present your organization.
Yes, thank you. My name is Festus Masaho. I'm representing the organization that is Blue Victoria. Blue Victoria is the organization that works in freshwater biodiversity conservation, climate change, and fisheries. Yes, crowdfunding in my country is not much practiced. Mostly it has been done by social influencers and not by NGOs. And mostly it go directly to humanitarian need, like paying school fees and medical bills. That's all.
Do you mean that social civil organizations cannot use crowdfunding for their own projects?
Yes, organization cannot use crowdfunding for implementing a project. Instead, the crowdfunding is mostly used by social media influencers that they do post, let's say, a need for a person who wanted to pay for medical bills.
Okay, okay. Okay, so thank you for sharing with us. I will give the floor now to Adam.
Okay, thank you again for the opportunity. My name is Bakhit Suleiman, and I'm from the Y.E.S Center for Peace and Development. Actually, when it comes to the crowdfunding, the context has not been changed a lot in Sudan before the war and after the war. Before the war, also people used to, mobilize the crowdfunding to tackle the humanitarian issues. But this kind of, funding have been increased. And also in our organization, in the Y.E.S Center for Peace and Development, we have, a practical experiences during the time of the crisis of Sudan right now. So we have mobilized, some resources, and we have actively contributed to reduce the, the suffer of the Sudanese people, especially those are in IDP camps. So yeah, we have been able through crowdfund. We have been able to distribute some food items for large for like more than 200 people in Tawila. And also we have we have made 2 gathering kitchen where a great many number of people they will come to have a food in the morning and in the evening. So this type of funding, not only in the context of Darfur, in the whole of Sudan, people used to use this kind of funding whenever there is any kind of crisis, especially the humanitarian crisis. And now Sudanese people are supporting each other through using this a very meaningful source of allocating funding. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us. I will take 1 or 2 more interventions and then we will move on. I will give the floor to Kotola, Boru Kotola.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Boru Kotola. My organization name is Tahura Charity and Development Organization, which is work here in Ethiopia. When I'm back to the crowdfunding, here in Ethiopia, the crowdfunding is allowable, or it's okay if you work on if you use the crowdfunding, but it do have a legal step, which means the government has been audited all the CSOs under all of the CSOs are under ASCO. They are audited and audited by the government. The government wants to know the donors' main objective, or they want to know what is the aim of this donor, what they want, why they give this donation for this organization. He know these all the things. That's why it's to have legal steps. But most of the time, the CSOs here in Ethiopia they don't use crowdfunding for the development organization. Most of the time, for the life-saving or emergency issues, they use that kind of funding. Thank you. Over.
Thank you so much. I will give the floor to Ngusale.
Thank you so much, Ashraf. I also feel a bit privileged because I haven't heard so many women speaking in this platform. I was just gonna say that let me say the name of my organization. I am from the Africa Center for Health, Climate and Justice Alliance. We focus largely on resilient health, climate change, and gender justice. I was gonna comment on crowdfunding. There has been a lot of skepticism in Kenya, particularly because some of it lacks transparency, and many people who are giving, they would want to have reporting mechanisms of the campaign and the outcome. And then another thing is where you do a lot of crowdfunding also, it's also misinterpreted as you're begging online. And then also like there's also a lot of online sabotage on crowdfunding, where you could maybe start this initiative. You're using only one platform, let's say like you're using Instagram, and someone takes on what you're doing and puts it on YouTube, but uses another account. So there's diversion of funds on that. And then finally, there has been some cases where some foreigners from Europe and America, they use crowdfunding and use our organizations, but they never remit that money to the organizations. So those are the challenges on crowdfunding I wanted to share. Thank you so much, and I want to hand over to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I think we should move on. I see that 2 more hands are risen, but since you have already well, it's okay. I'm going to give the floor to Kotola. So you can share, and then Joseph after that, and then we will move on with the presentation.
Okay, Mr. Ashraf, maybe this is the previous and you can move on. Maybe we do have a limited time.
Yes, yes, of course. Then we will move to Joseph. Do you have something to say before we move on? Okay, let's move on to the next form of new funding models, the sponsorship or membership. These are two models that are based on loyalty relationship, where members are invited to support the organization on an ongoing basis rather than through one-off donations. This gives the sponsors or the members access to exclusive moments, such as to be informed about the life of the civil society organization, detailed impact reports, private events, or personalized newsletters that keep them up to date with the organization's activities. It allows them also to participate in the governance of the civil society organization, and it allows them to forge a strong relationship through sponsorship. To achieve this, it is necessary to take management time into account and use the following tools. Customer relationship management, that these are solutions that are adapted to the needs of associations and make it possible to centralize information on members, track their donation history, and manage interactions with them efficiently. And also membership management platforms that offer specific functionalities to automate member registration, dues collection, and personalized communication, optimizing members and relationship management. So this form is based on a loyalty relationship, and it's important to develop this kind of relationship with your, with your entourage. One of the important aspects of new funding models is that you can, what we saw previously is based on other parts, other partners, other people, etc. But there is a way for us to get new fundings within our capacities. So in this part, we will see how we can develop our own income as part of our new funding models. So we can, for instance, monetize our in-house skills. As you know, associations can generate revenue by selling services directly related to their expertise. This model is based on monetizing the association's in-house skills. So when a CSO has a stable strategy in place, it develops invaluable expertise in training, accompaniment, professional integration, personalized follow-up depending on the target, or community mobilization, which it can monetize in the form of services. So the idea is to provide a service similar to what a regular company can, but also with adding the social aspect of the non-profit organization. So this not only generates recurrent income, but also opens the door to new partnerships, including with the private sector. Since the private sector will mainly, rely on us with our services. And this allows also civil society organizations to enhance their in-house skills while consolidating their professional image. So it's a win-win for both of the parties. But in order to achieve this, it is very important to design a clear, structured portfolio of services with precise descriptions, methods of intervention, pricing structures, and the ability to adapt its offering to specific customer needs. And it's also important to evaluate quality, as in gathering feedback from beneficiaries enables us and them to continually improve content and methods and build partnerships. I will just ask for one intervention here. Is there any organization present with us who monetizes its in-house skills. So if any of you sell services, for instance, and would like to share quickly, I'm going to take 2 interventions so we can move on. I see that Kumbe are raising their hands. You can speak.
All right, thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Amanda and I work with Kumbe Arts. So basically what we do is we do murals, we do dramas, we do storytelling. So we monetize our different creative skills. So if a company or an organization approaches us and say we want to do a community mural, we charge them. Then the artists get to have a certain percentage that goes to their home keeping, and we keep a certain percentage for our community work. And also maybe when a government or an organization wants storytellers, we just do the same. So we monetize in our skills and ensure that we actually have created more like a creative ecosystem that allows us to give services and also get money from the services. Thank you.
And since how long have you been doing this? Is it something that was implemented recently, or is it something that you have been doing for years? And
So
of course, congratulations for your work.
Okay, thank you. So we started doing this last year when there was a bit of shrinking of the civic space and we didn't have money. But then we realized that we had skills that we could use and we could use them to make money. So we started doing this last year, and we have seen that the demand has grown and we are growing from that.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I will give the floor to Bukar, and then we will move on with the presentation. Bukar, you can speak.
Thank you so much, Ashraf. So I will be very quick, as you been always emphasizing on the time. So there is this project that we've embarked on, the Skill Up Young Women project. And within our organization, we have trainers who train young women on skills acquisition training, like in cosmetology, tailoring, bag making, catering and nutrition, and other things. So this group of trainers, especially in the aspect of cosmetology, do produce some items like soaps, detergents, Vaseline, and other things. So when we showcase these things, we used to generate income by people coming to buy these things that we produce within the organization. And in return, we fund some of the skills acquisition training that we do to those women through the money that we got from rendering these services and selling these items. And also, in the course of doing our tailoring, we initiated another project that aims at training young people and sending them to school, out of school children to be precise. So the uniforms these out of school children get in going to school are being produced from the organization under the same project. Briefly from my end, over, Ashraf.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. It's important that we keep sharing so we can all learn about our experiences. And if there is, for instance, an organization within us who has a strategy, who has developed a methodology of monetizing in-house skills, maybe we can share this practice with other organizations so we can maybe get inspired and try to explore this. Thanks. Moving on to developing your brand, one other way of counting on your company's tool is be able to develop your brand. So the sale of products, whether handicrafts, repurposed objects, or services from short circuits, can be aligned with the values of equity, sustainability, and inclusion promoted by civil society organizations. So this involves defining a coherent offer with a strong visual identity and values, getting up an efficient logistics chain, storage, sales, etc., and ensuring administrative management. So invoicing, traceability, and any tax-related aspects. The success of this strategy also depends on communication. So you have to know how to tell the story of the product and its social or environmental impact, particularly via social network and local market. This enables you to reach a wider and more committed customer base. So is there any organization here who would love to share how they were able to develop their brand, how they were able to sell some products in order to gain some funds? I will take like 1 or 2 answers and then we can move on. Yes, Omar. Omar Ahmed. I know, it's Omar Ahmed. I see that Boru, you are raising your hand. You want to share?
Yes, maybe if it is aligned with this development our brand. Once when before 2 years we agreed with some of our donors to they give us their machine to make a bread maker. Then we construct more than 10 hectare. Then at the back, we construct the school feeding to feed the students. In the front, we construct the bread maker house, then sell the bread, and that's income generate for our organization.
Okay, and this has been your only experience with developing your brand, or have you tried anything else? Or are you
Now
currently working? Are you currently working on any other products, ideas, or?
Yeah, at this time, we writing a proposal on opening some kind of a school that training the youth to empower themselves and like woodmaker or some kind of makeup maker for women, like for boys, like sofa or some kind of door welding. We teach them like that. We write this is only on proposal. We teach them that is for income generate. Also at the same time support to use. Over.
Okay, I understand. Thank you so much. I have a comment before giving the floor to Bakang. So we had a comment from Katso that says that as a non-profit at Women Lead Africa, we do not make profit, and it's not constitutional to generate profit. So it's the same thing for all of us. I think we are non-profit. So the idea is not to make profit, to use it for commercial purposes, etc. The idea is to get to sell products, to get the funds, and to directly reinvest those funds into the social activities of the association. So nothing is bought by the board members, or nothing is bought, that is commercial or etc. So the idea is just to get funds that allows you to directly reinvest the funds accumulated into the association activities. Thank you. So I'm going to give the floor to Bakang.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and good afternoon to everyone. I am Bakang from Botswana. I am the co-founder of an organization called Congo Lounge Africa. And at Congo Lounge Africa, what we do is we utilize research and economic insights to inform our programming, which is mostly targeted to out-of-school youth as well as in-school youth. And just recently, through our brand that we've been developing over the past 4 years since 2020, we have been actively working with different young people in the country of Botswana to come up with initiatives that they could do so that they sell the products that they do produce. Like recently, we just completed a project that we're doing in a village called Ramotswa, where we were turning waste that is generated within the schools into an organic fertilizer. This waste was your paper waste, your waste from the kitchen, from the garden, and then we used a process called vermicomposting, where we fed it with worms. And then the brand is called the Green Givers, which is which is a fertilizer that is now being sold in the village of Ramotsa by the students of that school. So what they are doing now is they are taking the funds that they are generating from selling that fertilizer, and then they are investing it back into the project to grow it. Because at first we started with just one bean of the fertilizer production, but right now we are currently at 3 beans, and this is because of the money that we keep on getting, that we keep on generating back into the project. So what we try to do is, with every project that we design with the young people around different places in Botswana, we ensure that there is sustainability with that project. We ensure that the initial funding that we put in creating those products, creating those initiatives, they can be able to just generate on themselves based on the entrepreneurship model that we have and that we instill to these different young people that we work with. Thank you. I think that's all.
Amazing, thank you. I will check one more response and then we will proceed. I see that Wabua is raising his hand. If you can share with us, and then we will proceed with the presentation.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity. So what we do here in Cameroon is we transform agro waste like plantains, since we are one of the highest exporters of plantains in Africa. So we transform these plantains, plantain stems, into things like gift bags, biochar, and biogas. And we are going through, there are 3 regions in my country going through problems. So we have many IDPs from these regions in Yaoundé, where I am. So we train these women and these young men who are victims from violent conflicts on how to produce these bags and biochar and biogas, which they later on use for their business purposes, which helps them to be independent and not to be nuisance maybe to their husbands or to the community. So this project is how to empower them, be it financially or whatever, to be independent. So I've been doing this for like a year now, and so far we have touched 40 women in Yaoundé. Thank you.
This is amazing. Thank you. I just want to say that we will be sending you, because right now we are having a debate, a conversation, we are sharing experiences, and that as part of the project, we will be sending you a document, an online document, when you can just write about your experience, and then we will try to have all the informations gathered, and we will be able to share these informations with all the group. So each and every organization can benefit from everybody's experience in this field. So this is actually what we're aiming to do through the project, this sharing of knowledge, of experiences, etc. Thank you so much. I will move on. I see that Buru Kotola is raising his hand, and then I will move with the presentation. Yes, you can speak. Okay, so I will move right now. Why it is important to work with the private sector? As you know, as civil society organizations, we cannot stand alone. We live in an environment where there are public institutions, but there is also the private sector, and the private sector's role is very important, and it's up to us to go to the private sector. You know, it's up to us to take the first step in order to onboard the private sector within our initiatives. So what we aim to do is to generate impact together through many ways. We can, for instance, develop professional integration programs in professional insertion of the youth. Working with the private sector allows us to have a better understanding of the job market. It allows us to offer immersion internships to association project participants. For instance, if you want to develop citizenship, it will allow us to raise employee awareness of the issue of citizenship, inclusion, and equality, to develop workshops in schools, to promote values shared by the association and the company, support the ecological transition, etc. It's also important to facilitate access to services, and the private sector's role here is important. So support short production runs by promoting sustainable agricultural practices, install solar panels to facilitate access to energy, facilitate access to higher education for talented young people. So these are ways we can onboard the private sector with us, and how the private sector can really help us go ahead with our programs. But the idea is to create a win-win strategy and to really convince the private sector that it's in their best interest to work with us hand in hand. So these are also other ways of involving the private sector, etc. So now we will move to the new financial vehicles. So there is the social impact bonds. I don't know whether you are familiar with the concept of the social impact bonds. So a social impact bond is a financing mechanism where private investors provide upfront capital for social programs aimed at achieving specific outcomes. The unique feature of social impact bonds is their pay for success structures. So how does it work? So investors only receive returns if determined social outcomes are achieved, as verified by independent evaluators. So government agencies or other outcome payers commit to reimburse the initial investments plus a return if the program meets its targets. So this model transfers financial risk from the public sector to private investors while incentivizing the effectiveness, implementation, and measurable social impact. So social impact bonds are particularly suited for preventive interventions where successful outcomes can generate public sector savings. So I don't know whether social impact bonds are implemented in any of your countries or not. Are you familiar with the concept of social impact bonds, how it works, etc.? Let me see. Yes, I see that Wabua is raising his hand, as I see. So you can share with us.
Yes, so at the moment, I'm not familiar with the social impact bonds, and I don't know how far it has been implemented in Cameroon, but I will be interested in knowing more about it through this course. Thank you.
Okay. I want you to know that we will be working as part of the training program concretely on understanding all these new funding models and methods, and that in the MOOC you will be able to have access to many examples, many case studies, and we will be working with within other workshops on how you can develop your strategy, your funding strategy, and integrate these new funding models. So the idea right now is to understand whether you are familiar with the concept, with the many concepts you have seen, what are your experiences with all this, and then we will go deeper as, you know, as long as we are evolving. Bukar is raising his hand. You can share with us if you like.
Yes, thank you so much, Ashraf. I just didn't want to leave it go. I don't know if there will be session for question and answers, but I just realized there is something similar with this, which is the corporate social. This is the same in other countries, but in Nigeria.
I lost you for. I'm sorry. I lost you for like these last 20 seconds. Can you repeat, please? Your
Okay.
intervention.
Okay, so I said this the social impact bonds looks similar to what we refer here as the corporate social responsibility, where we have private organizations fund activities, social activities that non-governmental organizations do. So I don't know if we have other countries that adopt that call this similar, or actually what social impact bonds refers to is also the same with what we see here, or we refer here at the corporate social responsibility. Thank you.
Okay, so if I understand clearly, in the corporate social model, you have private companies investing in social activities, and they are reimbursed, right? At the end of the project, they are reimbursed, and they have like a plus on their initial investment. So this is the social impact bond. The idea is that private sector invests on a social activity, and only if the result initially targeted is achieved, that they will get, you know, their investment back with what they gained on the investment. I'm gonna give the floor to Bukar. Do you wanna intervene?
Yes, Ashraf. So sorry to come back again. So but in this case, in the corporate social responsibilities case, you don't need to reimburse to the private organization. They're actually legally bound by the country to provide that support, a certain percentage of maybe their annual revenue or something like that. But you are not to reimburse them at the end of it. And that was why I was more of like putting it in form of a question, where is this the same with the social impact bonds or not, and whether we do have a similar model in other countries. Thank you, and over to you, Ashraf.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna move on with the presentation, and let's talk now about solidarity savings. So solidarity savings refers to financial products and mechanisms that allow individuals to invest their money in ways that generate both economic return and positive social or environmental impact. So these saving vehicles direct capital toward projects, organizations, or initiatives that address social challenges while providing savers with varying degrees of financial return. Examples include ethical banking products, solidarity-based investment funds, community bonds, and saving accounts where a portion of interest earned is donated to social causes. The core principle of solidarity savings is the intentional use of personal capital to support ventures that align with savers' values while maintaining the possibility of recovering their investments, often with modest returns compared to purely profit-maximizing options. So as you already know and have knowledge of the concept of savings and how you can invest your savings, this is a way, this is a new model, a new way that allows individuals to use and invest their savings while promoting a solidarity cause, for instance. I don't know if you are familiar with this concept in your country, whether it's something that is developed or not yet. Yes.
Yeah,
Babu, yes.
here it's not yet developed as well. Yes, not yet developed.
Okay, okay. So we will be able to see concrete examples of this model. So I take note of that, and we will maybe work on this model more than the others, so we can learn about it. Will to impact? I see you have your hand risen.
Yeah, as Fogoa said, we never implemented such kind of way fundraising. Yeah, even the last one we share about social impact bonds, we never implemented us yet.
Okay, this is a new model in Morocco as well. This is something, uh, and also with the social impact bonds that the government and the public institutions are working on regulating, because it needs, regulation with the banking system, etc. So it's very important before developing this model to regulate it. And I think that in Africa, um, we still have a long way to go in order to implement efficiently all these models. But the idea is that there is this model, and that we have to find a way to promote it. And this is part of the project, where we will all be meeting public institutions, political institutions, decision-making institutions, and we will try to present a set of recommendations for new ways to adopt new models, best practices, etc. So this is why we are all working on this, so we can give them recommendation, and this can be a part of the recommendation we will be working on. So thank you so much. This has been a quick session. The idea was to create a debate and with all of you, and I want you to know that while accessing the MOOCs, you will be able to find many examples, many case studies, and I will be sending you, as part of the program, an online sheet where you can share your experiences with all these new models. And I will be centralizing everything and writing a report and sending it back to all of you, so we can learn from each other. If someone has something to say, yes, I see that. Yes, will to impact.
Yeah, sure. Ava, I asked you for the launch of webinar. Is it possible to share with us the supporting documents like this presentation we finished to use right now? It would be helpful to go through and to go back with more information and research online. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. I will make sure that all of you have both the last presentation that we showed during the webinar and this presentation. I will make sure you have it. You have them both. Yes, if anyone else. Sam,
Hi,
do you want to check the
yes,
floor?
please. Hi. You keep mentioning the MOOC, but I don't think I've received any information as to how to access it or register or log in to it. So I was just inquiring on whether that information has been sent, and also the future dates of these workshops. Is there a calendar available just to arrange our timetables to make sure we attend?
Yes, there is. Thank you so much. Yes, there is a calendar. And if you didn't get the credentials to access the MOOCs yet, I will make sure that you all get them ASAP. and you will be able to find all the detailed informations about how to log in your account and where the courses are and everything there is to know about the platform. I see that someone else is trying to talk. Okay. Wabwa, do you want to take the floor before
Yes,
we close the
yes,
meeting?
yes, sir. So I wish to know, are we going to have a WhatsApp group, or I don't know, like to ease the work, because we are actually many of us, and it will be easier for us to be in a WhatsApp group where the links and whatever has to be sent at once to the WhatsApp group. That's my preoccupation.
Yes, of course, there will be a WhatsApp group. This is why we asked about your phone numbers. And yes, we are working on this. We are working on all the logistical aspects so we can provide you with the best service possible. But I want you to be sure that all of you will get access to the MOOCs and they will be on the WhatsApp group.
Yes. I also have questions. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Go
Yes, of
ahead.
course. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. This is Yan from South Sudan. Then I wanted to ask about when we are filling the form for these programs, include the one for the conference in June. We find a place that is telling us, I mean, projects and also projects to present during the conference in June in
Yes, yes, indeed.
Morocco. Yes, indeed. So the intention of that project that we are going to, that we are going to present in Morocco, is it like present? I mean, presentation for a funding or just to know what we wanted to do?
As we
As we
explained
explained
during the
during
webinar,
the webinar,
wait, let me get some. Okay.
okay.
Uh,
Uh,
can you cut off
can
your
you
mic,
cut off your
please?
mic, please? Yeah, sure.
Yes, as I said, as I was saying, yes, as explained during the webinar, during the summit in June, you will all be meeting with international donors, with public institutions, etc. The idea is with UN, United Nations agencies. The idea is for you to pitch your project idea and to seek either a funding or a technical recommendation or a technical investment from these organizations. But yes, you will work on a project and you will present your project. It depends on what you want to seek. You can seek funding, I don't know, but as we explained before, it's not guaranteed. The idea is that we cannot guarantee today as we speak that there will be a funding for all of your organizations. It depends on many variables. It depends on your country. It depends on the project idea. It depends, it depends on a lot of things. But what's sure is that you will all be meeting with international donors and international cooperation agencies and UN agencies. That, for instance, let's say you meet with UNICEF Morocco or UNICEF Senegal, and you are let's say an organization from Uganda. So UNICEF Senegal want to be able to accompany your project. What they can do, for instance, is give you access to and recommend you to UNICEF Uganda, for instance. Do you see? So this is a way of networking and creating opportunities, and everything depends on the context. So this is why we want to make sure that we have all your information so we can provide you with the best networking services.
Okay,
Um,
thank you, Mr. Ashraf. I wanted to say thank you to you and to the guests for your patience. And please, can you urgently give us that MOOC link registration for getting a lot of things. I hope it help us. And WhatsApp number. Thank you for all the things. I wanted to say this only.
Thank you. Yes, you will definitely be receiving the MOOC access. Definitely, it's a matter of hours. I'm trying to, yes, trying to see here. Yes, Alan, you wanted to share something? Will to impact?
Yeah, so I was about to share the link of MOOC in order to get more information on that.
Okay,
And,
okay, I will be
colleagues already
sharing.
said, yeah.
Yes,
sure.
you will be receiving it in your email account.
Sure.
I see that Idris Ojoko wants to share his thoughts.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, everyone, for taking part in this session. It was a true honor and a big pleasure to be with you today and to learn from your experiences. As I said, I will be sending you the presentation. I will be sending you, if not already, if you have not already received the credentials for the MOOC platform, I will be sending that again, and I will be adding you to the WhatsApp group. So thank you once again, and have a lovely evening, or whenever you are, and depending on the hours you are in right now. So thank you so much one more time, and until our next meeting. And I will be sending you the calendar so you can know how many sessions there are and the dates of the sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so much.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.